So let us discuss the question for the esteemed panel. Did Coach Sean McDermott get a raw deal in Buffalo? Did he get a raw deal? So I've got flippers, hamburger helper, and cloverleaf intersection. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make some chicken Alfredo is what we're going to make. So first of all, to answer the question, was this a raw deal for Sean McDermott? The answer is no. No, with an exclamation point. In fact, he was given a sweetheart deal. In most places, McDermott would have been fired 3 years ago. He got 3 extra years to prove he shouldn't have been coaching the last 3 years, Sean McDermott. And so, no, not the opposite of that. This was a move that should have been made a while ago. It had to be made now. It was inevitable. Now, that being said, I didn't think they would have the balls to do it in Buffalo, so I'm surprised that they did. We did a Maller monologue in a previous episode. Yeah, you should get rid of this guy. Of course you should get rid of Sean McDermott. The 2025 season, it turned out, was indeed the last dance. That was it. And the folding table snapped in half. Bills Mafia jumped on it, and the table snapped in half, and that's it. You can only jump through so many flaming tables. Okay, and before you realize it, you're stuck on like level 13, but you want to get to level 15, but you're stuck on level 13. Well, how do I get to level 15? Now, we are skeptical. We are skeptical that the Bills know what they're doing, right? Considering that they gave this guy 3 extra years. 3 extra years Sean McDermott got. And the reason that we didn't think this was going to happen is because of FOC, fear of change, right? Fear of change, fear of the unknown. And the Bills were comfortable. Right? They'd been bad for 20 years, and so they were comfortable. The 10-plus wins, playoffs, snow globe games on national TV, chicken wings in the air everywhere, Bills Mafia breaking furniture like it's a home improvement show gone bad. All of that stuff, that's the Bills. That's the essence of the Buffalo Bills. And Sean McDermott, coaching this team, had built up a nice ranch house. A nice ranch home Sean McDermott had built up, and it was working. They were winning some games and all that stuff, and it was wonderful, and they were all excited, and it was great, and blah, 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 blah. However, what ended up happening, every January, the ending was the same. It was. 4 of the past 5 years. How has this thing ended for the Buffalo Bills? Well, they've ended it in heartbreak fashion. And so when you keep crashing out, when you get to that level 13, you can't get past it. You don't yell at the controller. You change the strategy. And so McDermott, they gave him another chance and another one, and it didn't work out. So they kept banging his head against the wall and all that stuff. They couldn't find the right cheat code. Couldn't figure out warp zone. There was no warp zone for the Buffalo Bills here, just more frostbite. And, oh, my God, we suck again. And at some point, you stop mashing those buttons on the remote control, and you go to YouTube or the dark web, and you say, okay, we got to figure something else out. And so that's what they're going to do. Now, the Bills' job, prime rib. The Bills' job is prime rib. You've got the lunatic fan base, check. Small town insanity, you check that box. You've got Josh Allen, who's got 2 more years of athletic prime. So 2 more years of Josh Allen before the slow decline. So you've got that. So that's all good stuff, right? So you get those things. And you're looking around, you're like, okay, so you've got this kind of setup, and where is this headed? So you've got the job team that's contender, just already a contender. We know that. And so you go in there, whoever gets the Buffalo Bills job, we'll talk about this more as we go through this hour here, but whoever gets that job, you're not rebuilding, right? And you should never be rebuilding. You're installing essentially a booster seat is what you're doing. You get a booster seat in there, and you floor it. You pedal to the metal, and you just go for it here. And we have seen that this can work. It doesn't work all the time. It has worked. The most famous example, Tony Dungy built the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into a a really good team years ago in Tampa and then couldn't get it done. And then they brought in John Gruden, who cashed the check that was set up by Tony Dungy. So it's like HGTV, the Pigskin House Flippers edition. And so you go in there, and McDermott, he did do some flipping. He turned the outhouse into not quite a penthouse, but it's like a level below the penthouse. So he did that, and he ran out of money. Or in this case, he ran out of time. Time is money. So he ran out of time, McDermott, and so someone else will go in there, and if the Bills don't screw this up, they will be the ones to hang up the Lombardi trophy on the shelf. They'll put that up in the house that McDermott built. Now, secondly, so now Buffalo is back on the market. They need to hire a new coach. We know that. They need a new sideline jockey. So the question, with the Bills out shopping for someone to guide them on the sidelines here, for the first time in almost a decade, the Bills are in the market for a head coach. Who do you recommend? You are now the headhunter. You are now the advisor. Who do you recommend for the Buffalo job? So this one is a no-brainer. It's not that difficult here. If the Bills are so serious, and if they really want to go for it here, and that's a big if with the Buffalo Bills, it's a big if. If that's the case, you do whatever you have to do, including handing over the keys to Niagara Falls to get Mike Tomlin. Oh, my God, what are you talking about? Tomlin didn't win in Pittsburgh. It's been bad for 10 years. Shut up, you loser. Let me explain. All right? The argument against Tomlin is he didn't get it done for a while in Pittsburgh and all that. I say Fugazi, absolutely Fugazi. The problem Tomlin had, he had substandard rosters, inferior quarterbacks, and was able to make the playoffs most of the time in Pittsburgh. If you give Mike Tomlin a legitimate, thoroughbred quarterback, and that team is going to punch their ticket to the promised land there, it'll be like muscle memory for Mike Tomlin. I'm telling you, it's going to be like muscle memory. The standard is the standard. That fits. That bullcrap fits in Western New York like thermal underwear in January. It just fits. You need it. And so that job, the Buffalo Bills job, now I recommend Mike Tomlin. That's my unsolicited overnight advice. But the Buffalo Bills job is a hamburger helper job. It is. It's in terms of coaching, ready-made contender right now, playoff team consistently, big-time quarterback. This is a just add water situation. You agree? All right, you're nodding your head. Yes, it's a just add water situation. Dinner is served. You've got the protein, Josh Allen, and you'd like to see him stop burning down the kitchen with turnovers like he did against the Broncos and all that. But the early chatter is not Mike Tomlin. The early chatter is that the team from Buffalo is going to look to pacify Josh Allen and hire Brian Daboll. He's the early favorite, not Mike Tomlin. The human boomerang, Brian Daboll there, who failed spectacularly with the Giants. But hey, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Why not? Buy him a beer. He'll buy everyone beers. You pass the mashed potatoes, Grandma. Way to go. The old boys club. That's the logic, right? That's always the way you go, default position. It's not what you know. And this is not just football. This is just life in general. It's not what you know. It's who you know. And so not exactly great leadership. It's not. It's more like, hey, I'm on LinkedIn. Let me see what I can find. Or I'm on Express Pros or whatever. Now, either way, outside of replacing Andy Reid, which that job is not open at this point in Kansas City. No word that job will be open. So we're going to assume the position that is not happening, that job will not open up. So outside of that job, the Andy Reid Chiefs job, this is the job. This is the job. Don't overthink it. I would advise to not hire a friend. Don't hire a friend. You're not running a bake sale here in Buffalo. You're not. Just go ahead and hire Tomlin. Everyone says Tomlin's not going to coach. He wants to take a year off. Unless there's something that we don't know about that hasn't been disclosed, Tomlin will be coaching again. So if Tomlin's planning on going back to coaching, by the time you get back, this job's not going to be open. So, like, come on, what are you doing? Just do what it takes. Now, everyone's got a price. Hire Tomlin. All right, now, final thought. As for the guy who just got dumped, we know how this works in the NFL too, with the recycling, the NFL ahead of their time when it comes to recycling. So the question, where does former Bills coach Sean McDermott end up? Where does McDermott end up? Well, McDermott is not unemployed. When I think unemployed, I think, well, I don't have any money coming. He's still getting paid by the Bills. He had time left on his contract. He wasn't a lame duck coach from what I understand. So I think of this in the context that Sean McDermott is at the intersection. The blinker is on. The blinker is on. The station wagon is idling, the McDermott station wagon. The kids are in the back asking, Dad, where are we there yet? Where are we going, Dad? Where are we going? Okay, calm down. Shut up, kids. All right? So he dropped a token. He dropped a token into the NFL arcade, and boom, the coaching merry-go-round fired up, round and round and round, the big wooden horse, brass pole, up and down, the same song, every coaching cycle, the same song. And McDermott's resume, it says one thing. It doesn't say I'm going to win you a championship. It says I will make you respectable with a capital R. Right? And if you look at these terrible franchises like the Raiders and the Browns and the Cardinals, these teams, and there are others that have jobs open, although it appears the Tennessee Titans have decided on another terrible coach, Robert Saleh. But you wonder why certain teams always end up in the same spot. Well, there you go. Anyway, he would put you in the respectable category. And so that's not a bad thing. And one man's trash is another man's treasure. It's always the way this is in the NFL here. And so it's the other thing about McDermott is he's not a TV guy. He's got a really boring personality. He doesn't have much of anything to offer other than coaching football. He's meat and potatoes. There's no garnish there. There's no razzle-dazzle. He's not going to go off and do a Barstool Bros podcast and play grab ass with the bros at Barstool. He's not doing that. Like, that's not how he's wired, okay? He's not going to go eat chicken wings and drink beer and do that while doing some Fugazi podcast. That's not going to happen. So he's just one of these guys that rolls up his sleeves, and you got a sink that's leaking, he'll fix that. You get the thing over there that's not quite working right on the door, he'll fix that as well. And so the option, do you take a gap year? Some people say, well, you take a gap year and then you go back to the market and all that stuff, and that would be a big mistake. A sabbatical by Sean McDermott, that's what the rich guys that can do TV do. He's not that guy, as we've said. He's not that type of coach. He's not. And so you don't do the sabbatical. So currently Sean McDermott, I mentioned he's at the intersection. This is a cloverleaf intersection. He's at the cloverleaf intersection, Sean McDermott. So if you turn left. If you turn left, you take a year off and battery recharge. That's not what you should do. You should not turn left. If you go straight, you grab one of these flea-infested jobs like the Raiders, or the Cardinals, or the Browns, and you go there. That's like the Roach Motel. You go to one of those teams. Now, the other option at the Cloverleaf intersection is to turn right. You head to Jerry's World, where Cowboys defensive coordinator, that job opened up right now. No, he hasn't hired anyone unless they hired someone in the last hour. So that job is open. So the defensive coordinator job is open for the Dallas Cowboys. You go there. If you're Sean McDermott, that would be the fallback. It's not a full sabbatical because you're still coaching, but you go to the Cowboys. Jerry turns on the circus music, the spotlight. Jerry's barking like a carnival barker there. He's got the clown makeup on, the whole thing. He's a carnival huckster, and he tries to hype up your value and all that stuff. And you do that for a year. You go to the Cowboys for a year, and suddenly McDermott's back in the front of the line, and you get one of these top jobs that will pop open every year. 7 to 10 jobs open up. And, of course, the great thing about the coaching carousel, as you know, the ride does not stop. It does not. You just got to pick the right horse. That's the problem. You got to pick the right horse.